Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is a tutorial for these bouquets, and I am going to show you step by step how to make the entire thing. So the flowers, and then how to wrap it and everything. So these are perfect for markets, Mother's Day, Valentine's Day, or birthdays. Anything like that. I have been making these for my upcoming market in March, and I just wanted to get on here and show you guys how to make this. So this is what you're gonna need for the flowers and the stems. So you're gonna need a color for your flower petals, a color for the center, as well as a color for the stems, and I'm using these in this tutorial. You'll also need a pair of scissors. Using a 4mm hook, a stitch marker, floral wire, wire cutters, a hot glue gun and hot glue, and a 4mm hook and 4-weight worsted weight yarn. So what you'll need for the wrapping of the bouquet is tape, wire cutters, scissors. I'm using tulle. This I got from Michael's. A pipe cleaner, ribbon of your choice, and a measuring tape or a ruler. And this is floral waterproof paper I got from Amazon. It's basically like a plastic sheet. Alrighty, so taking a closer look here, we're gonna start with the petals. And it's 5 petals, and they're made from bobble stitches. So let's get into it. Alright, so starting with the color you want the petals to be, you're going to make a magic ring with 5 stitches in it. And so this is how I make my magic ring. I bring it under my pinky, over my pointer, then I pinch it like this, flip it, pinch it between my pointer and thumb. So I have this going on right here, like that, and hold it right there. Then I insert my hook and I pull this over and I yarn over and chain 1. So now we have this. And I'm gonna go back and hold it right here. And now insert the hook through both, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. And you see the V right here? That's your first stitch. And so grabbing the stitch marker, I'm going to mark the stitch by putting it through both, just like that, and closing it. Alrighty, so the magic ring needs 5 stitches, so we have to do that 4 more times. So insert, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. Insert, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. Alrighty. So now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stitches. And now to close the magic ring, you just pull this tail right here. And you pull it closed. Okay. So I'm going to remove the stitch marker, taking note of this first stitch. I'm going to insert my hook, and it can be a little tough here because this is the first stitch. So you want to insert your hook into those 2 right there, so through the V, and then you're going to yarn over, pull through, and this is a slip stitch, so you just pull it right through. Now you have a circle. Okay, so now we're starting the petals, so we're gonna chain 2, 1, 2, there, and then we're gonna yarn over. We're gonna start the bobble stitch. We're gonna insert the hook in that same stitch. We're gonna yarn over and bring up the loop. Bring it up so that it's a little bit the same height as that chain 2. And we have 3 loops on the hook now, so we're gonna yarn over and bring it through 2 loops of the that were on the hook. So now we have 2 loops there, and we're gonna repeat this until we have 6 loops. So now yarn over, insert in that same stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. So now we have 3 loops on the hook, yarn over, the same stitch right there, pull through 2, we have 4. So we have to repeat that 2 more times. Let me just get some yarn here. Okay, the same stitch, yarn over, pull through 2, so we have 5, yarn over, pull up a loop, and then pull through 2, so now we have 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we yarn over, and we're going to pull through all 6 loops on the hook. So now we have 1, we're going to do a chain, and we're going to do another chain, so 2 chains, and then we're going to move on to the next stitch in the circle. So right here, and we're going to do a slip stitch by just going right through, and we're going to chain 2, 1, 2. So here is your first petal, and so you're gonna have to pop it out. You can wait to do this until the very end, or you can just do it every time you finish each petal. So you're gonna push it out like that, so it's facing the right side. And how you can tell is the tail of the circle is always on the wrong side. So here's the tail, and this is the right side. So you just have to push the petal out. All right, so you're gonna repeat this, and I'll meet you back up at the end. Alrighty, so finishing up the last petal here, I'm gonna chain 2 to finish it, and I am going to finish it right here, and that's that slip stitch from the beginning. And I'm gonna do a slip stitch right there, and I'm gonna pull up a loop and cut it off right there. Right, and you can just pull it right through and pull it tight so that it closes. Okay, so now I'm gonna push out my petals because again, this is the wrong side where the tail is of the magic circle, and this is the right side. So I want my petals to puff out. So I'm gonna push them out. And I'm gonna close my magic ring more. Just gonna pull it a little bit. And this is the flower. So this tail right here, I am going to just bring it right through to the back. So using my hook, I'm just gonna insert, I'm gonna find a spot where I can pull it through. So right here, I'm gonna just insert my hook right here and use that to pull my tail to the back right here. And so this is a good pattern because we don't necessarily have to weave in the ends because the back won't be shown. So what I'm gonna do with these two ends is I'm gonna just tie them together so that they don't come undone. So I'm just gonna tie them together, really tight knot there, and I'm gonna snip them. Snip them a little close right there. All right, so there's your flower. Now what we're gonna do is the center of the flower. So I'm gonna use yellow and I'm gonna make a slip knot. So this is how I do it. Just grab it and right there. I'm gonna pull it tight on my hook and I'm going to chain. Going to chain 3. So 1, 2, 3. So now I'm gonna create a bobble stitch in that first chain. So the third chain from the hook. So 1, 2, 3. So I'm gonna yarn over, insert it, so just like the petal, and then pull up a loop through 2, and I'm gonna repeat that until I have 4 loops on the hook instead of 6. So 4 for the center. So 3. And all right, so then I'm going to yarn over and pull through all 4, and then I'm going to chain 1 to close it, and I'm going to fasten off. All right, so this is what we have. I'm going to pull this tight. And I'm gonna pull this one a little bit tighter. I'm just gonna puff it out. So it's like that. And I'm gonna grab my flower and I'm gonna stick my hook right anywhere, but right here works. I'm gonna pull one of the tails through to the back. So one's there, it's right there. And then exactly diagonally across, I'm gonna do the same. So this one works out to be right here in this middle of this petal. So I'm gonna do that, bring it out, bring it to the back and I'm gonna tie it together. And again, I'm doing this and not weaving in the ends because the back's gonna be covered. And just tying it. I'm gonna snip these ends. Alrighty, so there's the flower and the center. Now to do the back. Okay, so now doing the back, I'm using green. I'm gonna do a magic ring, and again, the timestamps are in the description. You can go back if you need to see that one more time. I'm gonna do the magic ring. And this magic ring is gonna have 6 stitches. So to begin it, 1 chain, 6 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. I'm going to close the ring. And now round 2 is increasing for 12 stitches total. Alright, so making 1 stitch in that first stitch. Okay, so I'm gonna put a stitch marker so I don't lose count. So that's my first stitch, and doing an increase, I'm gonna go back into that same stitch and do another stitch. So 2 in that first stitch. Now I'm going to do the same thing for each stitch around until I get back to my stitch marker. 3, 4, 5, 6, 'Alrighty. And so we can double check here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay. And so to finish off, I'm going to do a slip stitch into that first stitch. So I'm going to remove the stitch marker and I'm going to go in, yarn over, and then just pull it right through. And I am going to cut this off and pull it tight to close. So I'm going to bring this tail back so that they're together, and I am going to tie them off again. I don't need to weave them in. Just going to tie a knot so that they don't unravel. I'm gonna pull it tight and cut these tails. Alright, so now what we have is our flower and the back. And so you can see how that works perfectly out. So now we're gonna plug in our hot glue gun, let that warm up, and work on our stem. So this is floral wire that I got from Joann's, and I am going to cut it so that it's proportionate with this flower. So I'll do that right now. Okay, so I cut the wire, and again, it's about 6 inches. So now, with my hot glue gun, I am going to wrap green yarn around this wire, and you don't have to, but I like the look of it. Just makes it all look like it's made out of yarn. So putting a little bit here on the top. Be very careful not to burn yourself. Just gonna wrap it. Oops. Okay, so now that it's attached, just gonna wrap the yarn around. And you might have to push it up a little bit like that. Just push it up. Okay, so getting here to the edge, I'm gonna put another little bit of glue. And careful not to burn yourself. You're going to slowly finish it right there. And I'm gonna cut it. All right. I need a little bit more glue. Okay, so now all the parts are here for flower. So assembling it, I'm gonna grab the back, make sure that using the wrong side facing you, and you can tell what the wrong side is because the little knot right here, that's the wrong side, this is the right side. So grabbing this, I'm gonna put glue all around, I'm gonna put it around here, and then down the center. Then grabbing my stem, press it there. I'm gonna put more glue on top, and then grabbing my flower, I'm gonna just place it as so, right there. Just press it together. There it is, there's your flower. And so the yarn I'm using is acrylic. And I know that I can take a lighter to it if I want to get rid of this fuzziness. So if you're not sure what kind of yarn you're using, just take a little bit from your yarn ball like this and test it out, see if it is, make sure it's just not gonna burn. So I know that this one will melt these fuzzies. So I'm just gonna take a lighter. Be very careful and just really quickly just go over it. Get rid of these fuzzies. Just really makes it look nicer. And then going right here, right, all this, getting rid of it. And this isn't necessary, I just like the look of it. All right, so there's one flower done. In my example here, I am using 3 flowers, but you can make a bouquet with as many flowers as you'd like. Now I'm gonna show how I wrap it. Okay, so the paper I got from Amazon is pretty large, so I'm cutting it into more manageable pieces. The pieces that I use for my bouquets were roughly about 7 by 7 or 5 by 7. It's really trial and error, and it really depends on what size your bouquet is, if you use bigger yarn or longer stems, things like that, so it can vary. And so I'm just gonna cut a 7 by 7 square and another piece 5 by 7. So I'll meet you back up when I have that ready. Okay, so right here is roughly a 7 by 7 piece. And the angle makes it look like I didn't cut it very straight, but I did. All right, so taking 3 flowers that I've already had made, I'm gonna just align them so that they look pretty. And so I think I like that placement. And so what I will do is take my pipe cleaner and just tie it here at the base so that they don't move. And you don't have to use the whole pipe cleaner if you don't want to. And so that's where the wire cutters come in. Okay. So I like that arrangement there. And so now I'm gonna get my tool and I'm just gonna cut off a piece. This piece is about, let's see, It's about 14 inches long. I'm just gonna cut that off. And I'm just gonna bunch it. Just bunch it like this. You also want to make sure you secure the flowers, so I'm gonna just tape it right here, the center flower to the paper, and then just move the flowers back into place. So getting the piece of tulle, I am going to also tape this around right here, just to make sure it's together. And you may need to trim it, so I'm gonna trim it. And a lot of this is going to be trial and error to make sure that it just looks good. Another angle here. So again, you're just going to kind of bunch it. I have taped down this tulle. I'm going to tape it down on this side. And so you're just going to bunch it so that it looks good. And it's going to take some trial and error. And so that looks cute right there. Just move it around and then get another piece similar in size, and you're just gonna go like that. Just gonna bring it in and pinch it in here like so, just making sure it looks pretty. Bring in as many pieces as you need and just see what looks good. I'm gonna see if I need another one. All right. So I'm just gonna see here. And then grabbing your ribbon. I'm using this one. You're going to cut off a pretty long piece. And so this one's done, so I'm just going to use the rest of it. So laying it right here. I'm going to tie a knot. And it can be a little tricky trying to hold the bouquet while also trying to tie this knot. You just want to tie it very tightly so that nothing moves. Alrighty, so I did do some adjustments off camera, but I didn't change any of the paper, so I still only have 3. So I did one knot here. I'm gonna do another knot. So double knot it and just tie my bow. Okay, and cut this in a diagonal, another diagonal, and use a lighter so that these ends don't fray. Just really quickly, just like that, and there you go. There's your bouquet. If your ribbon's a little stiff like that, you can just run your scissors right through it, and it will give it more relaxed look.
Alrighty guys, so that was the tutorial, and I really hope you enjoy and you make your own bouquets. If you do, you can tag me on Instagram at busybeanscrochet, and consider subscribing and leaving me a like on this video. It would really help grow this channel. I hope to see you again soon. Bye.